Jiang He just wanted to return to her home, but Xu Qing tells her that she can't as her home is far away. Almost about 12 years away, which means all things familiar to her have become history. A young girl from the Tang Dynasty, Jiang He, who traveled through time and space, appeared in front of a modern person, Xu Qing. She adjusted to modern life with the help and care of Xu Qing. She can easily draw a sword against Xu Qing without hesitation. Unidentified shadows of a flying and disappearing person were found around the city at different places. Xu Qing is busy teaching the ancient girl about common sense. He teaches him how fast this modern life is these days, as one can have shopping, watch movies on the computer, have lunch and dinner, and work, all in one day. After the struggles of Xu Qing, there was a transformation in Tang Dynasty heroine, and Xu Qing asks to thank him. There was raining outside. Xu Qing entered in home and he got scared seeing the girl in the murderess look like a cosplayer. Xu Qing serves food to his cat. His door knocks but no one is there. He opens the door. There's his neighbor Lei Feng. Xu Qing asks him to go to her home as she was drenched, and offers her an umbrella. She tells him that she's the disciple of the Salt Gang and is ill, suffering from 8th grade syndrome, stuck in her cosplay. Xu Qing decided to call security and see what was going on. While he was calling his uncle, she smashed her sword at the screen. Xu Qing was wondering who is she and how could she just smash at someone's TV screen. Xu Qing asks her to put down her sword and from where she belongs, to which she replies she belongs to the disciple of the Salt Gang. She tells him that she wanted to go home back to the Salt Gang. He remembered that this is a neighborhood of being a road in the Yongkang district of Zhongcheng City. Xu Qing asked him about what year it is and she says it was the 16th year of Kaiyuan. She then named a famous poet of ancient times, but Xu Qing knew that poet also. Xu Qing's food came at his door and the delivery boy knocked, at which Jiang He took out her sword again but was asked to put it down as he was just a delivery boy and no one else. Xu Qing offers him food and tells him it's a hamburger and she must see it for the first time, a cold drink, as she never had it before. She again put out his sword but Xu Qing tells her that it was just carbonated water and not poisonous. Xu Qing stopped her from taking out her sword every other moment. He had only 3 options to tackle that girl. The first one is he tricks her to go outside and leave her to freeze or starve to death as he should mind his own business. The second option is to call the police and let them handle all. And the third option is to observe her in his home, an ancient girl in front of him in his house. Then he thinks it will be a mess if he calls the police as they may think he's joking. So he decided to observe this 12-year-old ancient girl. Xu Qing offers him food but she can't eat it as it was new for her. She didn't taste it before, and Xu Qing understood her body can't take it, so he will make a bowl of rice for him. The girl asks him about Jiangcheng City and if he knows Lai Bai. Xu Qing first asks her to put his sword down. The girl insisted to go her home. He tells him that she is far away from her home, some 12 years away. All names of the people she is talking about are emperor of history and they are all dead 1,000 years ago. She continues to deny all, but Xu Qing further tells her that this world is completely new to her and everything he knew has become history now, and in this new world you can't move to have a weapon in your hand. After the girl had finished her food, Xu Qing talked to her and explained to him the little things that she needs to understand. For example, this is a TV that produces music and good entertainment for people and has no link with a sword. The mobile is also safe to use. It's a peaceful world and anyone lives here with peace without harming others. He further adds that there's an identification card and it has a unique number that is assigned to everyone as soon they are born. If anyone commits a crime, then he can be captured by his ID card number. The police can investigate anyone without an ID card. Moreover, laws are very strict here. If you hurt someone, you will be caught by the officials, and the same will happen if you even wander holding sword like a weapon in the streets. Xu Qing then thinks that it will be an issue as Jiang hasn't had an ID card, but still, he promises to help her. She asks him what can she do now, and where is his wife. He tells her that he's unmarried, but it's normal here for a man and woman to live, as he'll give her a separate room to sleep in. He opens his store, which was a little messy, but cleans for her and asks her to rest. Xu Qing wakes up at 10 in the morning, asks Jiang He about food. She gives him some silver stones as it can be valuable for him. He gives it back and tells him that he'll buy some necessities for her. He went outside and buys some clothes which he like. Xu Qing is back at the home. As he entered, the girl again put the sword and Xu Qing asked her to stop and they had their food. He told her that he has bought some basic things for her, and she should say thank you as it's a basic manner. He also bought a pair of shoes, clothes, books, and some women's stuff and asked her to watch a video on how to use the. Xu Qing thought he should teach Jiang He how to use a computer so she can easily learn everything. Jiang He asks him about his status and background, at which he tells him that he is from a poor background and is a graduate student who is still unemployed. Jiang He was curious how she came here, at which she said that she was running after a thief in rain and there she saw this house. The girl further asks him about his skills and his martial arts. How powerful is he, and how high he can jump. Xu Qing wanted to learn some kung fu and asks her, are those moves strict and can he learn some martial arts? She tells him that he is too old enough to learn martial arts as it's slow training from an early age, but he can start training from the waist first. She advises him to first practice stakes for at least 3 years and then learn martial arts to become powerful. Jiang He tried new clothes which Xu Qing bought for him, and all dresses fit well. Xu Qing tells him he'll also buy a hairband for her messy hair too, as nobody has hair like this here. Xu Qing is using a computer in his room. Jiang He entered and asks him what is he doing. He explains that it's a computer and it can be used as seeing things from miles away, for listening to the news, and for entertainment by sitting in a room. Xu Qing played some fictional films of martial arts on a computer. Jiang He asked him if it was all that real, at which he tells her that these are just created for fiction and are edited with backdrops depicting ancient times. He tells her that once she is more acquainted with this world, she'll be able to better understand. Xu Qing showed her another technique and asks her if she can do it. It was like moving quickly your arms around, and it seems like a blurry movement. She stood up and moved her arms the same as that in the play, and Xu Qing was impressed to see her movement. She asked him to let her know whenever he wanted to learn martial arts from her. She'll teach everything to Xu Qing. Xu Qing then switched off the computer and was so tired that he went for a nap. And when he woke up, picked up his phone and noticed it's 6:45 p.m., he then realizes he slept for so long. Xu Qing was taking Jiang He outside with him and advised her not to speak unless necessary, as he'll answer all his questions once they were back home. He further asks her not to make any movement and have a smile on her face and walk normally, putting down her sword. They started walking on the road. Xu Qing tells him that this is the district and all residents live in buildings there, and there are shops along the roads. Meanwhile, a neighbored auntie met Xu Qing and she asked him about the lady beside him and thought she is his girlfriend. Xu Qing tells her that they were just friends. That auntie identified Jiang He. She was with a sword yesterday in the streets. Xu Qing covered up that it was cosplay, in which everyone is in some character and pretends as someone else. And then they leave. They both discuss that auntie had a small glance at her yesterday, so they didn't catch any problem. If it were any security guard who noticed anyone with the sword, he must have stopped her and investigated. It could trouble her more. Jiang He sees a car on road and was wondering, so Xu Qing tells him that it's a car having 4 leaves and is used to travel goods or people, just like a horse pulling carriage. Jiang He started picking his stones and started throwing them outside the road, and Xu Qing stopped her. Food. People come here and enjoy their meal. He also comes here often and grew up eating there. Food was served to them and Xu Qing started eating, while Jiang He found it difficult to eat with chopsticks as everything was new for her and she just stared at the people around and meal. Xu Qing ate to his full and they went back home. Xu Qing talks that if they can sort out the identity issue, then she can live more freely here. But Jiang He was sad and wanted to go home, which Xu Qing tells her he can't, and started thinking to resolve the identity issue. Jiang He asks Xu Qing what if she can't get an identity card. He tells him that without an identity card, she won't have any right to food, live, and clothes and claim any property. She even can't go to any hotel, not even rent any place, apartment, and can't travel. If she sticks in an emergency and she tries to call officials for help, then they would also ask about his ID card, and without that she is even considered a suspect. She can't do any job anywhere or study, as they'll also ask for her identity. Then the girl was depressed and asks him that is she bothering him by living there. Xu Qing then started thinking about what he can do to resolve this issue and remembered his old friend and texted his best friend, who is a government official and civil servant. Xu Qing asked him to take time for a meeting as he wants to discuss something. Xu Qing took shower and changed his clothes and kept thinking about her. Jiang He also had a shower and was in good mood. Xu Qing went to meet his friend after ordering food for her and then received and served it to Jiang He. Xu Qing asked her to learn a writing pad and use a computer and to become used to it, so she can contact him if he was outside and they'll get in touch. Xu Qing met his friend at the cafe. His friend ordered food for him. Xu Qing asked about his job and he told him about the troubles he had to face. He also told that he sees quarrels and fights daily. Xu Qing then memorized his days of struggles and how he got this chance to become a police officer after his mates had height issues, and he cleared all and got this position. They also remembered their old friend who was rejected because he couldn't fulfill the requirements for this position. After then, Xu Qing asks him about the matter that if somebody has lost his memories and everything, then can he get a new ID card? His friend replies that there's no way he can get it and he'll be an unregistered citizen. He further asks him that if someone with no identity comes into investigation, then how you deal with them. He was told that they'll release him after having some questions. Xu Qing pays the bill, which was 128 yuan in total, and then the waiter told him that they had a promotional deal. For every 100 yuan, you can get 50 skewers free. He thought about Jiang He and orders to pack 50 skewers for her. Xu Qing sees off his friend and went home, where Jiang He is found asleep. Xu Qing was standing near her and was staring at him continuously as she was sleeping. He must have some feelings for her. Jiang He woke up and looked at him, where he gives him food that he got from the cafe and said he must be hungry as she just had a meal in the morning. She thanked him. Xu Qing couldn't believe his ears as he listened to many thanks from her. Jiang He tasted yogurt and skewers and she found it tasty. Xu Qing started feeling good having someone at home waiting for him, and it felt lively. Jiang He also felt happy as she can take shower daily and have a friend like Xu Qing. Xu Qing woke up the next morning and went outside. People were asking Xu Qing if he noticed something weird at night because something was scaring their dogs too, as his dog saw a shadow last midnight, after which he got scared, so there was something fishy in town. They were saying there was some ghost, as CCTV also captured it. They headed to watch the CCTV recording, where Xu Qing noticed that it was Jiang He. The security guard told people that he'll notice every moment from now onwards. Xu Qing entered the home and scolded her that she had been sneaking at midnight. She was shocked that how he knew. Then he tells him that the whole freaking society thinks of her as a ghost. He also confirms that she sneaks wearing a black dress at midnight. Jiang He got scared and asked if it's dangerous. Then Xu Qing advises her that she has to tell him whatever she needed and doesn't need to go anywhere alone. Xu Qing then took his clothes and explained to her about the washing machine. As the name shows, it's used to wash clothes.